As we go through life, our reference points of what is considered to be a marker of wealth change with it. In the job that I do, I have been exposed to many people that hold true wealth. And similarly, those that don't really but are trying to project a sense of wealth onto the people that they meet. Though what I have come to learn throughout meeting the majority of those people is that most of the time you're probably only seeing a very small aspect of their lives, and more importantly, the aspect that they want you to be seeing. And usually it's the best bits. So don't sit there worrying that you're probably getting left behind, because the truth of it is, you probably aren't. Comparing upwards drags you down. It's human nature for us to be comparing ourselves to one another. The concept of upwards comparison in social psychology details how we as human beings typically will compare upwards as opposed to downwards when looking at specific aspects of our lives. Usually it is centered around either something financial or something social. People don't typically compare downwards. Instead, they are looking upwards because they are focusing on how they can be better. And with upwards comparison, they are typically comparing themselves to people that they feel are doing better than them in life, and in some shape or form have a more superior lifestyle. Whether that is comparing the types of jobs that they have, house that they may live in, the car that they may drive, or the extracurricular activities that they do too. Upwards comparison can actually be particularly motivating at times, as long as you approach it in the right way. If you're making comments or remarks such as, oh, they're clearly just lucky, or they seem to have it so easy, and oh, there's no way I would ever be able to do something that they do, you're not setting yourself up for success. If, however, you turn that thought process into something more positive, such as, how can I get to where they have got to? What are the skills I need in order to support myself on that journey? And changing it into a motivator as opposed to a deterrent, that's where you will end up seeing benefit from it. Taking the moment to practice gratitude for the small and big things in life can help minimize the negativity of the upwards comparison effect. What I would instead encourage you to do is, when you are making comparisons, is to compare yourself and aspire to people that are investing in their futures, such as people that are investing into their personal growth, their education and their skills. It may not be as flashy and glamorous as your highlight Instagram reel, but you're going to be increasing your future value as a person, and in the longer term it will be a much more grounded and fulfilling approach. Your money, your pace. I feel really passionately about this point because for years there has been this traditional way of life that we should be abiding by in order to be living the lives the way that we should. And that is graduate college by the age of 22, buy a house by the age of 30, and retire at the age of 66. And yes, that may have been the case for my parents and my parents' parents, but me as a millennial, I know that if I were to continue to do my day job, earn my salary every single month, pay into a pension, that there is no way that I would be retiring by the time I turn 66. This linear way of living just simply isn't possible anymore. We have the problem where we have stagnant wages in relation to inflation, as well as the rising costs of things like education and housing. What I think is so important to take away from this section is that it is your money and you need to go at the pace and in the direction that you feel is best for you. So for example, going to college, the general expectation is that people will move on to further education and they will attend some kind of college or university. And it can be very easy to simply just go with the flow and accept that that is the traditional next step for you. And yes, if it is something that you know is integral in order to be able to take your next step in your career, let's say you want to be a doctor, so you need to attend college or university in order to get yourself into that position. And the fact that you will be accruing several tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt as a result is an acceptable sacrifice. But let's say, for example, that you were interested in doing something that doesn't actually require you to attend college, and you could take a different route that would save you tens of thousands of dollars of debt. No one should feel pressured to go to college just because it's being conditioned that it's the right thing that you should be doing. Finding your financial North Star. As I have said before, if you are constantly focusing on what other people have and what you don't have, you are consistently going to be feeling like you are falling behind. And that is not a productive place for anyone to be in. This is why it is so crucial to be able to identify what is important to you. And once you know that fundamental thing that is going to bring you happiness and bring you joy, when you are working towards that thing, it won't matter what anyone else is doing around you. For example, several years ago, I started up my Amazon FBA business. In order to create something that had a true potential, it meant that I had to have a clear focus on what I needed to do in order to get myself to that point. And that was both investing my personal money and also my time. And the time piece can be quite challenging, especially when you have your friends and family around you, going to nice restaurants, doing nice social events, and you're having to make the compromise of saying no because you need to be spending that money and that time on your project that you're working on. And yes, if you are looking at it from the outside, or that friend that is being told no, you might not fully understand it, but me and myself, I was determined to make it a success. And knowing that I was focusing my energy and my time onto something that was incredibly important to me, it didn't really matter that I was missing out on the odd dinner or social event because I was investing into my future. That is also why it is so important for you to be able to identify what you stand for. If you are able to align your spending habits and your focus into an area that is important to you, you won't feel like you're lagging behind. You're forgetting the trade-offs. I touched on this earlier, but when you are observing someone from afar, it can be so easy to fall into the trap of thinking that they have just simply had it easy and that their life is amazing. But one of the key things is that you are forgetting the trade-offs that they have had to make in order to get themselves into that position. Rather than thinking, wow, they have it all, that's actually very unlikely. They have probably had to make many sacrifices in order to get themselves into that position. Working late nights, missing birthdays, and potentially damaging of special and important relationships to them. If you're able to realise and understand this, it can help you find a peace with not comparing your best moments to theirs, because it's very likely that actually their sacrifices aren't comparable to yours. There is no reason why you couldn't be in the position that they are, but you would have to make greater sacrifices in order to get yourself there. And that may not be something that you are willing to do. It's human nature for people to simply focus on the benefits and the positive outcomes, as opposed to realizing the effort and the input that is required to get themselves there. Nothing in life is free, and people that don't realize that are never going to achieve great things. It is so easy to get caught up in the stress of feeling like you're not doing very well in life. But trust me, you're probably doing better than you think. And I hope that some of the points that I have covered in this video have helped you to realize that. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.